in collaboration with the Cyprus Mail. This is the Cyprus News Digest with Rosie Haralambous.
The hunting season starts on Sunday. We talk to the Hunters Federation about the law, and we find out that when they're allowed in September to shoot turtle doves, despite the fact that they're in decline in Europe with something like an 80% drop in numbers over the last 30 years, Cyprus is allowed to bag 15,000 turtle doves during the 3-week hunting season.
A quota of the country of 10 to 15,000 in total. All over the country, 15,000 birds.
On Sunday, the hunting season starts here in Cyprus, and joining us on the programme is Elias Pekris, who is the president of the Cyprus Federation for Hunting and Wildlife Conservation. Elias, first of all, I know that a lot of hunters go out as soon as the season starts. How many hunters do we have in Cyprus?
Last year we had 39,000 something licenses issued. But for this specific period of hunting, this summer hunting period, it's around 13 to 18,000 hunters.
And how many birds are they allowed to take each?
There are some quota, as we call it, for specific birds, for not for all kind of birds. Usually, most of the hunters in this difficult and with high temperatures period, they go home with nothing.
But how many are they allowed to take if they can find them?
For the turtle dove, they're allowed to take a total of 12 birds in the whole season. For other birds, there is no limitation.
Right, let's talk about the turtle doves, because I read recently that their population is declining dramatically. Something like almost 80% in the last 30 years. As a wildlife conservation organisation, shouldn't you be maybe taking them off the list for a couple of years to let them recover?
If we had any proof or any scientific backup that hunting is a problem, we would. On the contrary, we believe that as well as our federation, as well as the European Federation, we believe that hunters are the last people that they reserve this species in Europe and generally in countries that have a federation and rules for hunting it. Why I say that? Because our hunters, generally in Europe and in Cyprus, they create places for these turtle doves and other species to be able to flourish and reproduce. If hunters are not interested in these species, as in other species in the world, we believe that this will make the numbers decline even more. So if we bear in mind that through Cyprus in April, they go through millions of turtle doves, and hunting is not allowed at that period of time. And having in mind that we have a quota of 50% of our bag as a country, then the number of 10,000 or to 15,000 species, birds that could be hunted in a total in the period of hunting would be nothing compared to what our hunters will do if they are interested in this species to preserve it. So we still have some other information at hand from our fauna service that our flyway is not the Eastern or the Central European flyway. because we did some research as Cyprus authorities as well, and it seems that our flyway is used for the turtle doves through Turkey. So it's a different story. The problem seems to lie within the Central European and the Eastern European flyways. This is a problem with the turtle dove.
Yes, okay,
Not
but if we've got a few of them in Cyprus and they're being decimated in Central and Eastern Europe, surely everyone counts in the end, doesn't it? I mean, you're talking about 30,000 hunters and 12 turtle doves apiece? That's a lot of birds.
I'm talking about a quota of the country of 10 to 15,000 in total. All over the country, 15,000 birds. So that means that less than 0.5% of the turtle doves that would be hunted in Europe only. Bear in mind that in Greece, they hunt around 120, 130,000. Same in Italy, or in Bulgaria, or in other countries, not saying anything about the Arab countries.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ilias.
Millions.
I'm finding it hard to understand that you're basically saying Cyprus is different. In a total world population of turtle doves, as I said earlier, almost 80% down in numbers in the last 30 years, it's a bit like saying, well, you know, the wind blows, so it doesn't matter about pollution here because we're an island. We surely have to look at this in a holistic way and say, why don't we do something special in Cyprus and preserve our turtle doves for 2 or 3 years and then maybe start again? It's no good saying we don't count.
If you give me the chance to explain again.
Yes, do.
First of all, there are restrictions in the hunting period of turtle doves. There are restrictions there were no restrictions in the past, and you could hunt 50 every time you want. No quota either for a person or the country. So we set a quota, 15,000 for a country, 12 only for one hunter for the whole period. The period used to be 1.5 months, around 2 months of hunting period. The period now is 3 weeks. So we did change our hunting habits, but we still believe that if we make the hunters not interested in this bird, as in the Amazon, a lot of species that were stopped hunted, they do not exist anymore. We believe that hunters will not be interested to preserve these species with anything that they are doing up to today in their lands or the land in general. So we believe that there is a balance. We even if we don't have any proof, any direct proof, scientific proof, that hunting is the one that is responsible for the diminishing of the numbers of the turtle dove. The problem of the diminishing of the numbers is lack of habitat. This is the main problem of the turtle dove and many other species.
I am not saying, Ilias.
Let me finish, please.
Okay.
The habitat is considered the most important role for the reproduction of any species. So what we do as hunters, we preserve habitats for these species. If we stop being interested, not me personally, I mean the hunters generally, if they stop being interested for the turtle dove because there is zero harvest, zero hunting period, then they will not preserve their habitats. They will not care about their habitats most of all. Most of them, not all of them, most of them, and the problem will be much bigger.
Okay, do tell me how it is that hunters here preserve the habitats. What do they do?
Instead of targeting the hunters, it would be better to ask, first of all, what the hunters do.
That's exactly what I am asking you. You said that's exactly what I'm asking.
The first question should be that. But I'll tell you, preserving the habitats, putting water, plowing the land with specific food that preserves either turtle dove or other species all over the year, all over the non-hunting period year. In April, all these turtle doves that go through the country that are not hunted, they come and they find water, because hunters, they put water all over the mountains when there is one of the harshest period of lack of water in Cyprus. And they also plow the land with their own expenses. Our clubs, they do this all over Cyprus.
So when you say plough the land, plough the land, you mean tractors and ploughing and sowing something?
Yes, especially for the hunting species.
So what do they sow in their fields? What is it they sow in the fields?
Different kinds. It's not easy for me to explain in English. I could explain in Greek, but I don't know the word of the specific plants in English. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is whatever they plow it for the hunting species, but together other species get benefit from that. So imagine that the hunting period for turtle dove, for example, is 3 weeks. The other 12 months minus the 3 weeks of the year, the hunters are interested in preserving the species together with other hunting species. So this is the most important. This is what FACE also was telling in the European Union, in the European Committee, that if the hunters stop being interested, just even with the thought that hunting is the problem, even in a small percentage of diminishing numbers of the turtle dove, that means that the small help that the hunters are doing, which is much more than the problem that they're creating with hunting, will create many more problems and finally extinct the turtle dove. It's 7 million hunters all over Europe.
Yeah, well, it's heading towards extinction, the rate it's deteriorating. Let me ask you about the fact, you talked about the hunting period. It used to be, I think I'm right in saying, 2 weeks, and it's now been increased to 3 weeks.
It used to be 2 months. And we...
that was a long time ago.
Year.
That was a long time ago.
No, that was 3 years ago.
And then it became 2 weeks.
Last year it became 2. The year before last year was 2 months. Last year we made it 2 weeks to see if something will change. We realized that our hunters lost interest in doing any habitat work to preserve the species, and this year we made it 3 weeks. But still, the quota is the same, 15,000 for the whole country. So if the quota is met before the 3 weeks, hunting will immediately stop. All hunters, they have on their mobile phones the Artemis CY. They have to inform the Fauna Service as soon as they hunt one of these species, and generally the species. And if they do not, it's a criminal offense. So we will have in real time the numbers harvested all over Cyprus. If the number comes to 15,000 before the end of the 3 weeks, hunting period will close.
Okay, now let me ask you about
professional work, Rosimo, that nobody in the past did for any species. This is professional work.
We know there are a lot of poachers out there who hunt illegally outside the season and so on. Now, if they have hunting licenses and they're out during these 3 weeks, what on earth makes you think they're going to tell the Fauna Service that they've killed 5 turtle doves?
First of all, let me rephrase what you said. They are not hunters if they hunt illegally. They are poachers. They are illegal people that are not members of our society, first of all. Secondly, it's not our problem to go after hunters. This is the government's problem after these poachers. We give guidelines to hunting society, to hunters that they have their licenses. We try to give them a proper way of thinking and education for hunting. But all these people that are not issuing a license, they are all illegal, and they should be limited and punished by the government. We are a non-profit organization. We have no right to punish anybody. So these people that they do something illegal, it's the same thing as you're telling me a lot of people are driving without the driving license. They are not the drivers that I should be worried about as the Drivers Federation. I am the Hunting Federation. I speak on behalf of the Hunting Federation, not of the illegal hunters, as you call them.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of things that came up now while you were speaking. And the first one is, how many birds were registered, how many turtle doves particularly, but birds in total, were registered as being shot on this app that you're talking about last year?
Last year, we almost met the quota, 14,000, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's birds in total, of which how many were turtle doves?
In total, in turtle doves only, 14,000.
14,000.
Yes.
So one can assume that you will meet the 15,000 this year because there's an extra week.
Yes. If hunters are still interested, because last year we had. But I tell you, we had the problem that hunters were not interested in turtle dove. Especially hunters from Nicosia, which the total hunters in Nicosia is around 10,000, 12,000 people. And because hunting of turtle dove was disallowed in Nicosia, where they used to hunt before, the first day of hunting, this Sunday, hunting turtle dove is illegal. The hunting period will start in September for turtle dove. So hunters that they go hunting in Nicosia, which is the biggest number of hunters in Cyprus, they are not allowed to hunt turtle dove this Sunday. And this is another way of restricting the numbers of the species that would harvest as hunters.
So what are they shooting this Sunday?
Wood pigeon. Only. Yes, and wood pigeon, the numbers are thriving in Cyprus. You can see it yourself, I guess. And because of a lot of work of the hunters, wood pigeons are all over Cyprus and in the cities now.
Okay, and the other thing that arose, you were talking about you were only responsible for the federation and you couldn't punish people who were caught disobeying the law. But you can, if it's any of your members, remove their membership of your federation. Can you also remove their license?
Our members, Rosie, are the hunting clubs, not the person. Members of the federation are hunting clubs, not people. The people are members of the hunting clubs.
So what can the hunting clubs do?
What we do as a federation, we push the fauna service and the police now with our pushing for the last 2 years to have the anti-poaching group of the police. We push them, or we give them information of any wrongdoing of these poachers, these illegal hunters, as you call them. We give them information and we push them to take them to courts. What we do also is trying to make penalties, and we did with this new law that we want to implement. Hopefully it will be voted for by the end of the year or the beginning of the next year. We made an incline of the penalties for illegal hunting, and we asked for that. And we will go through all political parties and ask them to vote for this new law.
Sorry, exactly what does the new law say? You talk about an incline.
An incline of penalties. Penalties are more severe for any illegal hunting, for poaching, for illegal hunting, for anyone that is not a proper hunter within the law.
Okay, and then, as I said, what do the clubs do if perhaps one of their members is discovered breaking the law? Do they have any comeback on him?
If any of our members, of the club members, because I'm a president of a club member also, if any of our members in our constitution of every club, if any of our members goes to court and he's found guilty for any offense resulting from wrongdoing under our law, hunting law, then have the right to dismiss him of the hunting club. But we do not have the right, the law is like this, we do not have the right to take away his license. Unfortunately, it would be good if we had this power to do so, but we don't. The only person, the only organization that has the right to take away the license of such a person is the Game and Fauna Service. And with this new law that we try to implement now, we give even more power to a fauna service, to the director of the fauna service, so he can say to the chief of the police that this person, he did a lot of stuff, he did a lot of anti-hunting behavior, he was wrong, so do not issue him a license for holding a gun or for even hunting. So we try to limit the wrongdoers in our society or make them not part of our society at all.
Okay, but if I've been booted out of your club, is there anything to stop me going and joining another hunting club?
Yes, you need to have a clean criminal record and show it to the club, so you can be a member. This is our constitution of every club. I personally changed all the constitutions of the clubs with a new law, and part of the constitutions of the club says that every member needs not to be committing an offense with regards to the hunting law. The same thing is for our officers of the Federation. The same goes for the Constitution of the Federation. Any of the officers, for example me, I will not say for somebody else, if I do something wrong and I commit a crime under the hunting law, then I go under a committee and they can dismiss me from the Federation.
Okay, we're getting short of time here. This has gone on much longer because it's such a big subject. But there are just a couple of other things that I want to ask you. One of which is shooting near residential areas. Every year we see complaints from people who live in rural areas saying they were just outside my garden gate and shooting. They're not allowed to do that, are they?
Of course, they are not allowed, if I'm not mistaken, from residential areas 500 meters away, and from houses that are somewhere in the fields, not in a residential plot, 200 meters away from the house. We have a lot of problems in the hunting period, especially with houses that are built in the woods, and most of the times you cannot even see them, and most of the times these houses have not any license to be built there. This is a problem creating a lot of our...
That's not the point, Elias. The point is there are people firing their guns within the restricted limit of people's houses, regardless of whether the houses are legal or not. Don't let's even start on that.
Yes, but Rosie, you don't let me say my opinion. You push me to directly say something specific, but you won't let me say my opinion. My opinion is that all these illegal people that they built in the woods, they should stop doing it. The law says if you don't have a license, they should demolish your house. This is what they should do. This is one thing. The other thing, there is law that says every hunter should stay away, even if they have a license or not, 200 meters for any house that is in the woods, or 500 meters away from a rural area. I say the law is there, and let's implement it both ways.
Okay.
We never say to our clubs or to our members of the clubs, go and hunt, go and break the law.
No, of course
Let's
you don't.
implement the law.
Elias, of course you don't. What I'm saying is, how can you get your members to abide by that law?
Rosie, it's very, very, very difficult to go around and educate the last hunters. What we do as federation, we try to do seminars and give educations with regards to the law, with regards to the ethics, with regards to the environment, and a lot of things that we want to pass to our hunters, even old ones and the new ones. But bear in mind that that's why societies have laws. It's not only the education, it's not only the good vibes of somebody that wants to push you to do something. The law needs to be implemented. There are laws for everything. If there were no laws for you speeding, mostly we would see people speeding in the highway. Same thing as killing or theft. So what I say is, we try with education to go through our hunters and show them what the law is, and remind them what are the ethics of law, and also give them information about the environment to preserve the environment. But on the other hand, we are not the responsible people to implement the law. There are organizations to implement the law, and they should do so in both ways, and for the houses that are built in the woods, and for the hunters.
Okay, final very quickly, because this is the whole programme taken up talking about hunting this week, but let me just ask you about fires. It's well documented, I think, that hunters often set up their chairs behind bushes, they have their cigarettes and whatever. I'm not saying they do it on purpose, of course they don't. Nobody hopefully starts a fire on purpose in Cyprus, but there have been incidents where it's very obvious that hunters, through carelessness perhaps, have started a fire. What about educating them on that score?
Let me first say, Rosie, if you allow me to do so, that is well documented that hunters go after fires and to put them out. This is what we usually do. And it's also well documented that with the facts, hunting fires or fires that are connected with hunters are less than 3% of the hunting of the fires in Cyprus. So what you are saying, I believe, is wrong. Please allow me to say so.
Very quickly, just because we have to finish this up, we're out of time.
Okay, what the hunters do is not connected with the fires. I'm telling you, is less than 3%, 2 to 3% of the fires all over Cyprus every year. This is not what I say. This is from the ministry that comes this statistic. So I do not accept what you're saying, and what I can say is that hunters, all hunting clubs, most hunting clubs, they have fire hoses, and they go running in every fire to put out the fire.
Okay, well, we have to leave it there. That's good. We don't want any more fires, that's for sure. And we also don't want fewer turtle doves and birds. But I guess I have to say, enjoy your hunting trip on Sunday, Elias, and many thanks for telling us about this year's season.
Thank you very much, Rosie. Thank you very much also.
That is Elias Pekris, who is the president of the Federation of Hunters and Wildlife Conservation. Well, that about wraps up this edition of the Cyprus News Digest. Many thanks for your company. Hope you'll join me next week. Till we meet again, take care and God bless. Bye-bye now.